Those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very, very much for your subscriptions. They are greatly, greatly appreciated. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can check out the pull-down menu video descriptions on any of the YouTube channel daily forecasts, and in there is different ways of supporting the channel. You can go to patreon.com and choose a subscription level and get the daily forecast a day early. There's also special readings that are only available over there every month. This is the forecast for the sign of Aries. So for those with the sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Aries, you may want to watch this. It's indicative of what kind of an April you may or you could possibly have. It is a broad spectrum reading, so what I want you to keep in mind as you're watching the video is that depending on how many planets or where your planets are placed in Aries, to what degrees, which houses, all of that has an effect on whether or not you're going to relate to this video or not, right? So basically it's kind of like a take what you need and leave the rest sort of situation. Whatever works, great, take it, run with it, utilize it. Whatever doesn't sound right or doesn't sound appealing to you, it may not be for you. So don't worry about that. There's a lot of freedom and broad spectrum with these monthly tarotscopes. If you're interested in a private tarotscope reading for your month of April, you can certainly contact me via the Facebook business page and book a reading that way. That's always available to you. And we're just going to get into this and see sort of what's going on with the Aries for their birthday season. I also want to say that whenever watching any of these videos, especially like the dailies or the tarotscopes, when watching them, going into your day-to-day life, always use your own highest, your highest intelligence and intuition when making your decisions. Never take anything that I say over what your own intuition may be telling you. Also, never take what I say over that of a professional in their field, like a doctor, a lawyer, a therapist. It's really important and key that you're aware of that. Always heed their information first, okay? All right, so let's get into this and see what's going on for the energy for Aries, sun, moon, or rising, or heavily placed planets, which would be indicated by 3 or more. And if you've got 3 or more planets in Aries, you're probably a busy person. Let's just say that. Dynamic as all get out. Oh, the first deck that I'm using is the I Am Vibrational cards by Debbie A. Anderson. And I felt like using this deck just because the orange color caught my eye and it felt really vibrant. And because we're hitting the spring equinox and we're starting with the fire signs because it is Aries season, I felt like this was a good deck to use. So we'll see if that's correct. Plus, I also felt like I am statements with Aries, Leo, and Sag sounded really good. It just seemed to fit for this month. So let's see what the the first card is. Now, this card is kind of, what do I call this card? The signifier. It sort of gives me a little bit of an insight as to sort of what, something to focus on during the month, what the focus of the month may be, the overall theme of the month, that kind of a thing. But we'll see with these I am statements. So you guys get card number 11, and it says, I am the vibrational creation of joy and balance. Get it, Aries? Let's work it out. I'm going to take that. I love it. I love that we have all of the colors of the aura here, right here in this rainbow. We also just have this sort of lotus flower in the center, which to me would be about that sort of the colors of the rainbow would be the joy, but the lotus flower represents that centeredness and balance. I love that it's card number 11, which is a master number for you guys. So to me, this could be a very exciting and fun Aries season for you guys. Maybe you'll be focusing on getting things together and getting things done, making things happen, the things that make you most happy. I love that rainbow color in that card. It makes me think of your chakra system and your energy system. I feel like ideally you guys should be flowing really well, feeling really good, feeling vibrant and abundant, able to get things done, which is something that I feel like Aries really likes. You guys don't like to be held back in any way, shape, or form. You guys really like to be on the move, making decisions, being in that seat of sort of action, right? And so to me, this feels like there could be quite a bit of action for you in a good way, right? In a not only productive, right? Because I see Aries as a very productive sign too, but also this idea of joy and balance. There should be a lot of fun for you guys. It's not going to just all be work. Does that make sense? There could be some play involved that will bring about some really good feelings for you, and maybe a rejuvenation even. That rainbow is making me feel like we might find ourselves like feeling almost kid-like, playful. So we'll see. Now let's get into these cards. Again, like I said, it's broad spectrum, so take what you need and leave the rest. All right. So the center card is where you guys will be centered at most of the month. It's not the entirety of the month, so you may go in and out of this card throughout the month, but it gives me an indication of kind of what's going on with you guys and what you could be potentially creating for the future. So that's why we look at it this way. So let's see what that is. I should have brought, let me grab my glasses, guys, because I'm blind as a bat. 1 second. You'd think I'd learn to have my glasses at the ready, but of course not. So I'm not mad at this card at all. It is the Queen of Pentacles as your center, guys. She is like sort of the mother goddess, sort of divine feminine creator. She's in touch with her emotions. She's in touch with the material world. She creates from a place of emotive love, caring, fertility, nurturing, all of that. It's not necessarily fire or air energy, which is like your home element and then your complementary element. But I love that she is your center, because to me, she would chime in on this joy and balance that we see here, this vibrational creation of joy and balance. When I look at her and she's surrounded by all of those roses, she's surrounded by the abundance of what's the beauty in her life. And I feel like that might be kind of what my Aries choose to ground in this month. That's the Pentacles energy of this queen. We might choose to kind of focus on, where the good things are in life this month. What brings us happiness? What brings us joy? Where's the beauty? What is working for us? What is worth nurturing that will bring us sort of not necessarily gifts, but more of what we want, right? But in a very kind of what's the word? It's not like this is sort of a selfish energy. It's more like we deserve it. We know that we deserve it. We desire it. We want it. So therefore, we're going to have it. That's kind of the Queen of Pentacles energy to me. She's not a brute by any means. She's not aggressive by any means. She is just naturally creative and fertile and able to make what it is that she wants. Does that make sense? Or at least go about setting the paths to doing so and being appreciative of the creation of those paths, right? She likes that. That to me seems to be her energy. Now, her being the Queen of Pentacles, the only downside that I could see with this, it might not be as fast as you guys would like, right? Because you guys are fire, so you're the fastest of the elements, and you would want to probably move at a more quicker pace, especially when there's such a creativity going on with the Queen, and you guys love to create and get things done. But if you stop and sort of smell the flowers, right? You stop and sort of enjoy the beauty of everything that is around you. You kind of maintain that focus of joy and balance, which we see that here in this card, but we also see that sort of in the beauty of the flowers around her and stuff. This could be a really wonderful and beautiful month with these first two cards coming out. So let's look to the foundation. This is the card that is below you. And the reason why I call it the foundation card is it sort of indicates and tells me a little bit about the past and what opened the door for things to be the way that they are in your reading today, right? Now, this card can also sort of give us indication as to the memories that are pushing us forward into the now, or kind of it can be the memories of these events from the past that are holding everything in place, right? Everything's built upon this foundation. So let's see what card this is. So this is the King of Swords. Interesting. We've got quite a bit of royalty already out of the gate in your reading. The King of Swords would be complementary energy to you. Sometimes court cards can represent as people outside of us, right? They certainly, that's what they usually indicate. But when I'm thinking about these two positions, that Queen of Pentacles, I do feel like is Aries energy, or at least your focus throughout the month is, how do I make my home life nicer? How do I make, my relationships richer, deeper, more solid, more grounded? How do I stay more grounded and create the things that I want? That's definitely you guys and your focus this month. And that's that joy and balance we see in this first vibrational I am card. That should be like your mantra this month. I am the vibrational creation of joy and balance, right? And that Pentacles energy will bring in that balance that you seek. Now, underneath this, in this foundation, we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords would be about, to me, the ultimate in honesty, decision making, analytical thinking, black and white, maybe reaching a pinnacle in some way, shape, or form, but not having a whole lot of, say, emotion around it, right? So we might have felt like our life was good, but not as good as it could be, and if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is, to me, it feels like we've got everything sort of taken care of as best we can. We feel like we're in our center. We feel like we're taking care of stuff, but he feels sort of gray to me. He feels sort of detached to me. That's not necessarily a traditional King of Swords meaning, but I get that sense with this card, especially when I'm looking at the colors that we see running through here and the colors that we see in those roses and in that Queen of Pentacles center. There's something that we've maybe come through, and this is also something that's not necessarily a King of Swords traditional meaning, but I'm gonna throw this out there because I get a distinct feeling. Where's my pointer? All right, roll with me here, Aries. I love this cat. He's in charge. We got shit done in the past, excuse my language, but we were in charge. We stayed analytical, detached, and we dealt with life, right? But I feel like with the grayness of this cat, the stone that he sits on, and the grayness of the mountain that he's on, although he's in a position of authority or in the center of his universe, right? And that's a position of power, and it's hard work to get there, and it should be commended. I do get a sense that we might have felt in the past a little disassociated, maybe even some depression, some disconnection from the achievements that we had made or the achievements that we had had in our lives. This could be something as simple as like being detached from our loved ones via COVID. This could be something as simple as being, the big boss in charge and not feeling like we can really confided in anyone. Do you see what I'm saying? It has that sort of a vibe to it. And that's not traditional to King of Swords, but where I feel like this reading or this story is going for the Aries energy in the month of this April is that you guys are wanting more. You're wanting more connection. You're wanting more nurture. You're wanting more, from your past that you can get there, mentally. You can get there through clear decision-making, honesty, and almost ruthlessness in a way. Not that the King of Swords, the King of Swords can be ruthless, but he's not traditionally a ruthless card. But I'm talking about like that's sort of the idea that I'm getting with this is sort of uninspired a little bit in the past, although things weren't bad, but everything that we thought we wanted or that we had gone about getting didn't necessarily give us the glow or the sort of essence of what it is we seek. Does that make sense? And so I love that he's sitting down there in your foundation because he's a strong card. He's analytical. He is intelligent. He will make clear, precise, concise decisions, and he won't take a whole lot of shit. And that's kind of a very Aries trait too. Oh, somebody's here. I think it's probably Amazon. 1 second. Oh my God. Scared me to death. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Hold on, guys. Yes? Hi. Oh, okay, cool. Sorry. I'll come on really quick. 903 910 9385. Yeah. GEIST. That's like GEIST. Yes. Oh my God, no. Are you sure? No. You don't have to do that. All I had to say that is done. Are you sure? Yes. Thank you. 200. I can use it for groceries. See, that's what I wanted to do. You need more than that? No, I'm good. I'm good. That's huge. Thank you. Let me know if you need more. Thank you. I mean it. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're a good guy. Thank you. Thank you. You need more. Let me know. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, I'm serious. I know. They can believe you did that. I'm filming you live right now. Thank you. What is that? That's crazy. Okay. Sorry, guys. That was crazy. My neighbor just wanted to come over and give me his phone number and a gift. Wow. Okay. All right. So where was I? So there is this love and this exuberance that I think that you guys are looking for. Like it's a zest for life that I feel like with this king down in the foundation, you have the skill set, the intelligence, the wherewithal to make it happen. He's driving in the background. We know that we can achieve great heights through our analytical thinking. But this month might be about getting a little bit more into our feels, a little bit more into the material nature of things, and a little bit more into the enjoyment of things. I hope that makes sense. Sorry for that big long pause. That was wild. My neighbor just came over and gave me a really wonderful gift, like for no reason other than just because he's my neighbor. Wow. All right. So the next card is that was wild. Oh my God. The world is so strange lately. I mean, in a good way and bad way. It's really weird. Sorry, Aries. All right. So the next card is the your spirit or soul card. This is the card that's above you. Sorry, that just sidetracked me. I wasn't expecting that. This is a card where your higher self wants you to kind of either focus on, pay attention to, key into, and work on during the month of April. So let's see what this is. This is the Six of Wands. I will take it. This is total fire Aries energy. This is celebration. This is victory. This is enjoyment. This is about that energy of being in vibrational creation of joy and balance. This is about our higher self sort of shining through and creating, giving that Queen of Pentacles energy in the center, giving us the sort of the right to kind of go ahead with the I want to say the yes ma'am to go right ahead and get done what you need to do to create what it is that you want. Each one of you is going to want something different, right? Some of you, it might be, with that Queen of Pentacles in the center, it's going to be material in nature, right? But it might be a better job, or it could be a better, it could be a love, you never know what it is. Each one of you is desirous of something different, but this Six of Wands feels like you feel emboldened, empowered, celebratory. It feels possible. It feels like a reality. There's an energy to this Six of Wands with the intelligence of this King of Swords driving you from the background, from the past. There's like no stopping us is kind of the feeling that I get when I look at these three cards. Now, let's get into the outside influences. These two cards are things that could be affecting you from the outside, either positively or negatively during the month of April. Wow, I can't believe my neighbor just did that. I'm sorry, guys. That's crazy. Sorry, I just got thrown by his knocking on the door. These things can be people, events, sometimes things more vague, or like belief systems or energies that are having an effect on you during the month of April. So let's see what that is. So we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so we've got the King present, and now we've got the Queen. Now these, because they are outside influences, these would indicate potential people if they're court cards, right? So the Queen of Swords would be a more analytical thinking woman. It could be a woman. I kind of get a funny feeling, and go with me guys on this. I get a feeling that this queen is a little bit also detached, similar to the King of Swords, and that's sort of a swords quality. But I get a feeling that this might be somebody we might be in competition with a little bit. It could be somebody that might be a little bit critical of us in a loving way, or they mean to do it in a loving way. This could be a boss. This could be a mother. Generally somebody, possibly a female, more than likely a female, and also possibly somebody of the air sign variety. So that would be Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. But so if you have a significant that thinks herself a bit of an authority, because that queen energy is going to present that way to her, to you. I feel like it's funny. Okay. I'm just going to go with this, guys. I feel like she sort of triggers the memories of this for you. She speaks in this guy's language. This person you were maybe, I don't know how long ago, 6 months, a year ago, when you were in this place, you were doing well, but you weren't really connected. You weren't feeling the joy. You weren't feeling the inspiration, right? She understands that. She doesn't really have much. She has a little bit more warmth and joy and inspiration in her space. But if I slide him over, look at how these two cats are seated. They're facing away from each other. I kind of get a feeling that this influence or this person, if it is a person, or it could be an energy or situation, but this person kind of is in judgment of you maybe having this nurturing sort of vibe going on with you this month, right? They may not necessarily outwardly voice it. That's why I kind of get a mom or boss vibe from this card, in the sense that it's a female in power around us, that she wants the best for us, but she kind of thinks I get this feeling that she thinks she knows the way, and she may not agree with the way that you might be choosing to go about getting it. She would prefer you to be more like this version of yourself from the past, if that makes any sense. And because they speak the same language, right? But don't listen to her. Is my feeling. Take what she has to say on board, right? Because you can understand her and you can appreciate her advice. But that King of Swords down there, you already have like kind of trumped her. You've already outdid her in the past, if that makes sense, right? You've already kind of outthought her, or have had the capacity to kind of reach levels that go beyond what she knows to be true. And her truth is her truth. It's not that it's wrong or anything, but it's her truth. It's not necessarily yours. I feel like with that Six of Wands and that Queen of Pentacles, you're seeking something new, something different, something a little bit more exciting than what the Queen of Swords wants for you, or thinks you need, if that makes any sense. So keep an eye out for that. She's not an enemy, though. I don't want anybody to think that this is somebody to be worried about. It's not that. It's more somebody that cares about you, but maybe their advice is not necessarily the best advice. Or they say, are you sure you really want to do that? Do you know what I'm saying? So it kind of slightly undermines you. It kind of slightly it would serve to undermine you, but I feel like you being in the Queen of Pentacles energy in the center for the month, you're certainly at, what's the word I'm looking for? You guys are even in your abilities, right? There's not necessarily truly an authority, although she might think she has an authority over you. I hope that makes sense. Okay, the other outside influence is the Nine of Cups. I'll take that too. Nine of Cups is emotional energy. Cups is very complementary to Pentacles, which is your center this month. I feel like the Nine of Cups is kind of having everything you need around you and feeling emotionally like well taken care of, established. So find yourself maybe in social situations or situations where you feel like you're appreciated and you really truly feel that. The emotions feel good. They feel abundant. Nines are about personal completions for folks. So this might be an ending to a dry spell. This could be an ending to maybe not being seen or validated. I still get a feeling that that Queen of Swords on the opposite side, she may be hard to validate you, or might be a hard one to convince to see things your way. But don't worry about trying to convince her. That's not the point of this month. Does that make sense? The point of this month is to seek out your own joy, to seek out your own truth. You've already been in your own truth in the past, or you found your own truth in the past here, and it wasn't quite the truth that you thought it was going to bring you, right? And so it's now time to go about finding in a more like connected, emotive, passionate, like I guess visceral would be a good word. I'm not sure. Like it just feel it, to me, the Queen of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups feel more deep than what you've got in that King of Swords down below from the past. Does that make sense? So we want to enjoy the gifts that are given to us. That would be the Nine of Cups. Opportunities to be social, take them. Opportunities to shine, because the Queen of Pentacles also would be a very social card, and she would do social very well, very grounded, very appreciated. She would allow others to see the beauty in life too. So help others to see what they have going on. That will also stimulate that Nine of Cups energy where we feel that abundance and well-being for both ourselves and those around us. Allow for that to sort of flow freely throughout the month of April for you. And like I said, that Queen of Swords, she may give you some, advice. It's not bad advice. It's just not the advice I feel like you need when I'm looking at these cards. I hope that you understand that. Now, this last card is what I call the potential outcomes. This card tells me a bit about sort of where things may naturally end up, barring that nothing major changes. But it is not set in stone. So you always have the power through choice and free will to affect the changes in any of these readings. If this card is negative, you can use it as a warning now to make choices and changes in your life to affect the outcome so that it does not come to pass. But if it's a good card, you can take heart in the fact that you're naturally heading towards it, just sort of doing what you've been doing. So let's see what the card is. Okay. Hey, Death card. Now, for anybody that wants to freak out, don't. Death is not a freaked out, a bad card. It is a little intense, let's say that. Death is inevitable. Let's first start there. Death is transformational. Death is major arcana. So there's going to be a big kapow at the end of April. I'm not sure how it's going to take shape for all of you. And I don't necessarily think that it's always a bad thing. I think that, let me look at this for a minute. I almost get a sense with that King of Swords in the bottom, in the foundation, and death being the outcome of this month, right, is that a major overhaul or an assessment has taken place or is about to take place if it hasn't already. And that King of Swords could be the mental sort of inventory that was taking place months before, right, as we were looking at things and not feeling inspired or fulfilled, although we might have accomplished a lot. This Queen of Pentacles, she wants more, and that Six of Wands wants us to celebrate and have more. We might get to the month's end, and the Nine of Cups is also very celebratory too in its own right. So I kind of get a feeling that to continue to be able to be celebratory, we may have to go through a very deep transformation and let go of some things that no longer work for us. And that would be the Death card coming up at month's end. Could be a significant shift, change, ending that we don't see coming. I don't necessarily think that it's to our detriment. I know that people fear the Death card. They freak out about it. I always see it as the form of transformation. It's something that, like, inevitably everything dies. We all have to face death, whether it's a plant, an animal, a person, a lifestyle, a business plan. Everything morphs and changes throughout life. And so death to me, I look at it as a new dawn, right? Or as a new opportunity. We just have to kind of walk through it. So at the month's end, I would imagine that the month will be significant. We also see, and the reason why I'm going to say that is we see this 11 here, which is a master number. There's something about what is it that we want. And I also have to say this Queen of Swords energy, she kind of might be what we might have to not die or let die, but I kind of feel like with the King of Swords in the foundation and the Queen of Swords as the outside influence, there could be, whether this is definitely us in the past, but there could be a situation, if this is not a particular person, that indicates to us to come and talk to us in this version. Does that make sense, Aries? So like they want us to put on our King of Swords boots or our King of Swords eyes and communicate in that way. And we're like, no, I want to be the Queen of Pentacles. I want to be more indulgent. I want to enjoy more of my life. I want to be back with my friends. I want to be doing things that bring me joy and make me feel alive, right? Sometimes to get to being alive, we have to go through death, apparently, or at least in your reading, because we may have to put an end to whatever this situation, person, or energy wants from us in the month of April, because it chimes in on an old, outdated version of ourselves that isn't necessarily quite who we want to be anymore. And so to do that, we have to let it go. We have to allow it to die. We have to bring it to an end. And so I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that as a very significant, powerful transformation that allows you to move into the month of May, probably a little bit more keyed into an excitement and a newness that is going to feel fresh, that's going to feel invigorating. And the reason why I say that is because we have this Queen of Pentacles as the center, and we have that Six of Wands up in the soul space. That's your only fire card, right? But it's in your soul space. It's in your soul positioning. So to me, and it's a celebratory, victory card. So to me, your soul is going like, let's do the damn thing, is what I'm feeling. And so in doing it, you may have to sacrifice something or let something go. And that would be that death. Death is Scorpio energy, very much sex, death, regeneration energy, very much about letting things go, and transforming them so that we can get to something new. And so allow that to happen. Don't fear it. Again, for those of you that are in fear of the death card, or you're like, oh, wait, my life is really good right now, I don't want anything to end or die or change. You don't have to have anything end or die or change. This could be for another Aries, or you can use that death card as a warning to sort of keep things the way they are. And you can sort of move that way in your own way. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, you guys. That is your April forecast. Have a wonderful birthday month, Aries. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share this video out. Hit the thumbs up button on the YouTube channel if you're watching it over there. And I look forward to seeing you guys next month to see how and where you're at. Leave me a question or comment if you feel so inclined once the video is uploaded to YouTube fully. And I will turn off and come back on in a few moments to do Leo and then Sagittarius. All right. It was the same. Okay, so I just saw this comment. It was the same neighbor who mowed my lawn. Totally, it was. For Sean, for your comment, it was the same neighbor. Vicky says, wait, what if your neighbor was watching your live chat and wanted to see you in action? I bet he's an Aries. No, he just came over and I can't believe it. I told him that I wrecked my car on Sunday and I don't have a car. And so I'm unable to work until I get my car back. And he just brought me money. And I feel like bad taking it. But he's like, are you sure? He's like, and I was like, well, I could use it for groceries. And he's like, that's what I thought. He's like, just take it. And I'm like blown away that he did that for me. So the world works in mysterious ways, guys. He mowed my lawn for me. Okay. I look like shit. I'm going to switch the cameras. You guys are going to watch me cry for a minute. Hold on, just because I feel like I'm talking to you. Sorry, Aries, I'm hijacking your guys' video. If you're an Aries and you need to go because you're busy, because you're a fire sign and you're constantly on the go, I totally understand. You can shut off now. But I'm just going to share with some of my viewers. It's been a rough couple of weeks. You guys have known, like those of you that watch. And so like losing my car sucked. I'm waiting for it to come back. I don't really have a way to make money right now. And so I happened to mention that to him. But this morning, I've been trying to go, my lawn's been looking really nasty. And I have a riding mower in the driveway, in the garage. And I went to go get on it the other day to start it up to see if I could get it going. And it wouldn't start up. And so I was like, oh, shit. And it hasn't been started in months. And so I tried the following day and it didn't work. And then this morning I got up and I went outside, and the last 2 days have been extreme anxiety for me. You guys that watch the daily, you've seen the emotionality coming out of me and stuff. And so it's just been this generalized anxiety about a lot of different things, all kind of compounding on me at the same time. And so I go and I have my morning banana and I always walk it through the garage out to the compost bin. I have a bin outside for composted natural stuff like yard clippings and things. And so I went out there, and as I turned around, the lawn was mowed. And I was like, wait, do I have a lawn angel? Like, what is going on? And it was like this huge relief because it was another thing that was just sort of weighing down on me. And I was like, oh my God, the lawn looks like shit. The neighbors must think I'm a total pig. I moved in here. I haven't mowed the lawn. And I felt really bad. but the lawnmower wasn't starting, and I don't have any money to like get the lawnmower assessed and fixed. And so I was like, it's just another thing added to a pile of things and things and things. And so I went over and I talked to him today, and I was like, do you know who mowed my lawn? And he's like, yeah, I did. He's like, I had a push mower, and we had started it up. I let the neighbor borrow it. And he said, when he brought it back, I thought, why not? And I said, thank you so very much. I said, I have a riding mower. I said, I got to get it fixed. But once I get it fixed, I'm happy to come over and ride it on your lawn. And he's like, well, I fix stuff, I can come over and take a look at it for you. I was like, that'd be great. And that's, and I told him, he said he mowed my lawn because he thought I wasn't home too, because the car wasn't there. And I said, oh no, I got in an accident last week. I've been home all week. It's just, I've been, without a car. And he said, oh, if you need a ride. I said, oh no, I'm good. I've got, my friend coming, and she's going to take me to the grocery store and blah, blah, blah. And so he just came over to give me his phone number and some cash. He's a nice guy. And so he totally mowed my lawn for me yesterday. And then he just, I don't know. People are there are good people in the world. So I just need to remember that. Vicky, since you're here, you got my message about canceling that order and then resending it. I hope that you are able to do that with Amazon. If you have any trouble, let me know, and I will try and help you with that, because it was going to my old address. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to sign off and come back on to do Leo live and then Sagittarius. I want to get the fire signs done tonight if I can. I'm trying to be ahead of schedule this month, so I feel like I'm going into April more ready than I was February to March, because I was a hot mess. I felt like I was limping into March, and March just got worse. Like it was like, oh, it's refunded. Okay, perfect. Do you need me to put them back on the wish list, or did you just send them to me directly, or are you not going to send them? If you choose not to send them, that's okay too, because I kind of screwed that one up on me. Just so I know if I need to look out for them or not. Thank you, Andrea Cometa. I love you too. I don't even think she's here anymore. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off, and maybe it will show up from your old address. I don't know if it will or not. I don't think so. I don't think that there's a forward anymore, because I've been here 6 months, and I don't think they forward packages. But I don't know, because usually Amazon delivers via UPS or their own Amazon trucks. So they wouldn't have the forward. My forward was through the United States Postal Service. So I don't know. We'll see. If it does show up, I'll let you know, but I don't know. If the previous owner, if the new owner of the house that I sold, if she still has my contact information, she may call me, but she doesn't live at that house. She lives in another house. She bought it as a rental house. So it might be a while before she finds the package. We'll see. It'll all work out if it's supposed to. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off so I can do Leo, and I'll be back on in a few minutes once I clear out and stuff. Get ready to set up for Leo. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.